Guys, Brendan Hall here with John Sarianides, and we just saw a great game here. Mansfield, St. John's Division II state final. Mansfield comes away with its 7th title under Mike Redding, a 28-14 win. And I think most impressive, John, was Mansfield committed 5 turnovers in the first half, yet they won this going away. And in the second half, they really ground down St. John's with the running game. We knew going in, the running game was kind of a suspect area, I think, for St. John's, and Mansfield capitalized. And credit to them, they really slowed down the tempo of the game. I think that was a big issue here. We talked about this earlier in the week on the podcast, that Mike Redding would try to take the air out of the ball in this matchup.
And he did. He went back to old school Mansfield, wing tee, eye running game. The thing that I liked is the wrinkle of using Mike Hirschman at wingback. He's an athlete. You've used him in space all year. All of a sudden now you use him in your running game. He's a nice change of pace to Villar Perez. I thought that was the difference. They set up their outside running game with their toss and jet sweep, which was pretty effective for them. Then they come back inside with their counter game and their two-back eye game. To me, I think that was the difference. Look, St. John's is much better defensively this year than they were last year. But they haven't seen an offense with that type of diversity all year. Mansfield really could do some different things to you, both in terms of the play-action passing game and the running game. They did that today. They had 299 yards rushing. We knew that they were going to focus on the run more without Brandon Hill, but we did not think that they would do that to St. John's.
Yeah, we talk about old school Mike Redding, and obviously for all the exotic formations they run on the spread all year, it was back to those old principles. But that doesn't happen without versatility of guys like Miguel Villar Perez. And Hirschman in particular, I really was impressed with today. 6 catches, 77 yards, 8 carries, 66 yards, and that touchdown out with a lot of those wing-back counters as you were talking about. Talk about these guys. They're complete football players. You can put them in a bunch of different positions, I feel like.
Well, they're well coached. Here's the thing, that they're football, basketball kids. That's their focus year-round. And so when you can focus on 2 sports like that, you're going to develop as athletes both physically and mentally. And you see it with a guy like Hirschman. He's been playing hurt all year, but he gutted it out. He was a bigger part of their offense today, and to me, he was the X factor. You know what you're going to get with Wisniewski and Villar Perez, but to me, he was the guy that St. John's had the most trouble with. He was the guy that gave them the most trouble because they had to defend him a myriad of ways. They couldn't do it, and that was the difference. And kudos to Mansfield's defense, by the way, because all year long we kept hearing about St. John's and their up-tempo offense. They did a terrific job of slowing them down and keeping Drew Smiley in the pocket. That's the way you want to beat St. John's, and that's the way they did beat him.
Yeah, I think one of the keys there in slowing him down, Mike McGillicuddy, just 2 catches for 12 yards. He's been such a versatile underneath threat for them. When we talk about the tempo, and obviously a lot of that, we've seen this with other teams that try to match that tempo. Things get unraveled kind of quickly. You can't really push that tempo if you're not converting third downs, if you're not keeping the chains moving. And St. John's really had trouble with that. Mansfield, we talked about with the Barnstable game, they just mucked it up in the middle of the field. Didn't really make anything clear. They kind of made it a jungle out there for them. It seemed like I mean, hats off to the defense. Kept them hanging in there. You know, St. John's is up 14-7 in the second quarter. Then they recovered that fumble deep in Mansfield territory. We're sitting there going, geez, this is going to get ugly quick. Mansfield hangs in there. Credit to their defense.
Oh, absolutely. And look, stopping a kid like Drew Smiley is a tall order. And then you factor in Combs, and then you've got Davon Jones, who wasn't really a factor in this game, but that's a 3-headed monster for St. John's. And I thought Mansfield did a great job of playing bend but don't break. They played their stuff, they varied their fronts, they varied their coverages, but when it was time for them to buck up and make a play defensively, they did it. And that's going to go unnoticed in this game because of the 299 yards rushing. But the reality is their defense made some key stops for them, particularly in the second quarter when they had problems controlling the football, and that's what enabled them to come out in the third quarter and take over the game.
Well, there you have it, guys. 7th title for Mike Redding at Mansfield. What a legacy he's built there. We got more coverage on this game on our site, so be sure to check out ESPNBoston.com for all your coverage.